Hello friends, let me continue with the same topic, accounts of not-for-profit concern. In my previous lecture, I explained the difference between profit and not-for-profit concern. I also explained the meaning and features of NPO, the need for writing the books of account and the need for preparing final accounts. I also explained final accounts of NPO. Now, what are the contents of final account of NPO? I told you that there are three contents. One is receipt and payment account, second is income and expenditure account, and third is the balance sheet. So today I am going to discuss about the receipt and payment account, which is a need for solving the problem. In our problem, just like we are given a trial balance in case of partnership firm, here we are given receipt and payment account. And receipt and payment account and adjustments, they are the base for solving the problem. So let us see what is the receipt and payment account. Now here it is given, receipt and payment account is an account showing the summary of cash receipts and cash payments for a given period. So in receipt and payment account, we are recording cash transactions. What do you mean by cash transactions? Receipts of the cash and payments of cash. So the receipts of cash and payments of cash during a particular period or given period. What is the given period here? The given period is 1 year. So receipts and payments of cash during 1 year are given in the receipt and payment account. Let us clear it. Receipt and payment account is an account showing summary of cash receipts and cash payments for a given period. So it is a summary. How it is a summary? Let me explain. Now whenever the transactions are taking place in NPO, they are recorded in the primary books. So here we are having a cash book. So in that cash book, whenever cash is received, we are recording. Whenever cash is paid, we are recording. I'll give you an example that how receipt and payment account is a summary of cash book. Let me take an example of a sports club. We are having one sports club. This sports club is having a playground. This playground they are giving on rental basis to those who are in need of that particular ground. Now they have given this particular ground on rent, and the rent of 1 month is 10,000 rupees. So every month they are going to receive 10,000. Whenever they are receiving 10,000, they are passing entry on the debit side of the cash book to rent received for playground. So one effect they are doing in the cash book. Second effect, they have opened a rent account, rent received account. There they are doing the second effect. At the end of the year, when the rent received account is closed, it will show the total rent received rupees 1,20,000. Suppose the rent for 1 month is 10,000. So for 12 months, the rent is 1,20,000. This particular entry, 1,20,000, is shown here on the receipt side of receipt and payment account. Receipt and payment account on debit side, this is the receipt side and this is the payment side. So on the receipt side, 2 rent received. What will be the total? 1,20,000 is the total rent received. So that entry is given to us. We are not given the individual entries. 10 months for the first month, again 10,000 for the second month and all that. That is not given. We are given one figure, that is 1,20,000. So it is a summary of all cash transactions. Now suppose in this example, we have received rent not for 12 months, but we have received only for 11 months. Then the figure which will be given to us in the receipt and payment account will be 1,10,000, 10,000 each. So the figure will be 1,10,000. 1,10,000, that is the rent received, and we are given adjustment. What adjustment is given to us? Rent receivable rupees 10,000. So rent receivable rupees 10,000. So this is nothing but outstanding rent which is receivable. Same way, on payment side, suppose I am paying salary rupees 5,000. So at the end of the year, what will be the total salary? 60,000. So every month I am passing an entry, but I am passing the total of all the salaries taken together. I will pass entry here on the credit side by salaries 60,000. The total of all the salaries that I have paid. I want to explain how receipt and payment is the summary of cash receipts and cash payments. So I am paying salary. So that salary for 12 months at the rate of 5,000 is 60,000. Now suppose instead of 60,000 I am given here 70,000. Then what is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is we should be given adjustment. What adjustment we are given? Actually salary is 12 into 5 should be 60,000. But here we have paid 70,000, means we have paid salary in advance. So we are given the adjustment. Number 2, salaries paid in advance rupees 10,000. So this is the way the receipt and payment account is recording the transaction. So let us see the features one by one. Receipt and payment account is a real account. Why we say this account is a real account? Because it is recording cash transaction, and cash account is a real account. So it records the cash receipts and it records the cash payments. Okay. Now, second, it is similar to cash book, as I told you that it is same way. We are recording on the debit side all the receipts of the cash, and on the credit side payments of the cash. Not only receipts of cash and bank cash, but we are also including cash and banking transactions. If suppose I am receiving the rent of playground by check, then also I am recording in the cash book. You know that you are having two columns in the cash book. One is a cash column and one is a bank column. So the total of cash as well as bank both are included in this rent received. Sometimes I am receiving rent in cash. Sometimes I am receiving rent by check. So both taken together I am receiving 1,10,000. So it is not including pure cash, but it also includes banking transactions. So we are told here that it is a real account. It is similar to cash book. That is, it is a summary of cash and banking transactions, not only the cash transactions. Then on debit side we are recording the receipts as we are recording in the cash book. On debit side we have the receipts. On credit side we have the payments. So it's a summary of all the receipts and it is a summary of all the payments. So debit side is meant for receipts and credit side is meant for payments. Now we see the another feature. It includes all types of receipts and payments, that is capital and revenue. Okay. Now this is the receipt side. On this receipt side, there is no difference whether I have sold asset or I have received rent. Both are one and same for the receipt and payment account. Because sale of asset is a capital receipt, which also I am going to record, and receipt of rent is a revenue receipt, which also I am recording. It means here I have mentioned that it includes all types of receipts. So there is no distinction whether it is a capital receipt or revenue receipt, but all receipts are recorded on the receipt side. At the same time, we are also making payments, capital payments, like I am purchasing assets, so it is a capital payment, and I am paying salaries, so it is a revenue payment. So it is recording all types of receipts and all types of payments. All types means capital receipts and revenue receipts. All types of payment means capital payments and revenue payments. So that is the feature number 4. it includes all types of receipts and payments, that is capital and revenue. And now another important point, it records all the receipts and payments made during the year. Now during this current year, whatever amount is received, that is recorded here, and whatever amount is paid, that is recorded on the payment side. Now what type of receipt I am talking? Whether the receipt is related to the current year, whether the receipt is related to previous year, or the receipt is related to next year, all are recorded. In our example, suppose I am receiving rent. So rent for current year, I am recording. Suppose I have received, rent was outstanding for last year and I received in current year, then also I am going to record. So outstanding of the last year, I am receiving this year, but I am receiving, I am receiving cash, so I am supposed to record. Rent for the next year, suppose I have asked for the advance rent and they have paid me, then also I am recording. It means all the receipts, whether they are of the current year, whether they are of the last year, whether they are of the next year, are recorded in the receipts and payment account. Same way, all the payments, whether the salary I am paying for the current year, it is recorded. If I am paying salary for the last year which was outstanding, then also I am recording. So previous year salary I am recording, current year salary I am recording. Suppose I am giving advance of salary, then also I am recording. I am recording salary for the advance which I have given. So now let us see the next feature. The next feature is, it begins with opening cash and bank balance and ends with the closing cash and bank balance. Now see, this receipt and payment account is same as cash and bank account. So it is having a opening balance on the debit side, two opening balance, cash and bank, and it is also having a closing balance at the end of the year by closing balance, cash and bank. Now this is the normal balance. Cash is having debit balance, bank is having debit balance. At the end of the year, cash is having debit balance and bank is also having debit balance, which appears on the credit side. But sometimes we are having bank overdraft. In that case, the cash balance will appear on the debit side and the bank balance will appear on the credit side. And accordingly, whenever the account is closed, the normal cash balance will appear on the credit side and the bank overdraft will appear on the debit side. That is why we are told that it begins with the opening cash and bank balance and it closes with the closing cash and bank balance. Now, it excludes non-cash items. Now, receipt and payment account, as I told you, is recording only cash transactions. It means it excludes all non-cash transactions. Which are the non-cash transactions? There are transactions such as depreciation, bad debts. So these are the transactions which are not related to cash. They are the adjustments, and because of adjustments we have to pass certain entries. So depreciation, bad debts, these are the items which are not the cash transactions. So they are not included in the receipt and payment account. So we are told that it excludes non-cash items. It means it records only cash transactions. Now we'll see the topic, types of receipts and payments. As I told you, it is necessary to differentiate between the capital items and revenue items. So now we are having two types of receipts. One is the capital receipts and revenue receipts. What is the basic difference between both of these? Capital receipts are non-recurring in nature and revenue receipts are recurring in nature. For example, subscription. So subscription we are receiving every month or every year. On the other hand, we have a life membership fees. So life membership fees we are not receiving every month. We are receiving once in the lifetime. So that is the basic difference. So all the receipts which are non-recurring in nature are known as capital receipts. But all the receipts which are recurring in nature are known as revenue receipts. So that is the basic difference. Capital receipts we are going to receive once in a while. We are not going to receive every day. Sometimes only we are receiving. And that is why they are known as the capital receipts. On the other hand, we are receiving certain revenues regularly. Say for example, here specific donation. Now specific donation is for specific purpose. Say for example, someone is giving donation for construction of building, donation for computer laboratory, donation for library. So these are the specific donations that we are not receiving every day, and that is why they are known as a capital receipts. Then we have life membership fees. As I told you, we are receiving once in the lifetime, so it is a capital receipt. So capital receipts are those receipts which are non-recurring in nature, and the examples are specific donations, life membership fees, sale of assets, and there are many more, but I will not confuse you. Okay. Now on the other hand, revenue receipts are those which are recurring in nature. They are routine receipts that the NPO is going to receive from time to time. The examples are subscription. Now subscription is a main source of income, so they are going to receive. Now suppose that particular club or gymkhana, they are having lockers, so they are giving lockers on the rental basis, so they are receiving regular rent for the lockers, so locker rent. Then I give you the example of the ground. Suppose the sports club or the gymkhana or the school, they are having playground, and this playground is given on the rental basis, so they are going to receive rent of this particular ground regularly. So then suppose the NPO is having surplus funds, and that funds are deposited into the bank, so they are going to receive the interest. So interest received. So these are the items which is recurring in nature, and that is why it is known as the revenue receipts. And these are the items which are not recurring in nature, so it is known as the capital receipts. Now when we are transferring this, now in the balance sheet, these capital receipts are transferred. Suppose it is to be capitalized, then we are adding to the capital fund. We are adding it to capital fund. So we are showing on the liability side, add to the capital fund. Suppose we are told in the problem to capitalize interest fees, then we are going to add it. Then we are given life membership, so we are directly going to add it because it is a part of the capital fund. Then we are given special donations, then we will write these items separately as a special donation. So where these receipts are appearing, they are appearing on the liability side of the balance sheet. They are added to the capital fund, or they are shown separately under the separate heading: donation for building, building fund; donation for library, library fund. Okay. And if there is a sale of asset, then it is a receipt, but we have to subtract from the assets. So we have to subtract from the assets. It is a capital receipt, but it is on account of sale of assets, so we are recording the assets on the asset side, so we have to subtract from the asset. So that much of the assets will come down. Okay. On the other hand, revenue receipts are the incomes of the business, so we are recording on which side? We are recording on the credit side, that is on the income side. Now we will see the difference between capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, and deferred revenue expenditure. We are having three types of expenditure. What is capital expenditure? Capital expenditure is non-recurring in nature. We are not spending the amount from time to time. We are spending once and while. For example, purchase of assets. So whenever we are buying the assets, we are not buying assets every year. We are buying once and while. So that is known as the capital expenditure. Or we can say any expenditure whose benefit is enjoyed for more than 1 year, then it is a capital expenditure. Or we can say the expenditure whose benefit is enjoyed for a longer period is known as a capital expenditure. At the same time, what is the revenue expenditure? Revenue expenditure is that expenditure which is routine in nature, which is recurring in nature, which is paid for day-to-day activities. So now let us see the difference. Capital expenditure, an expenditure of non-recurring nature, is known as capital expenditure. Such expenditure results in creation of assets. Whenever we are buying any fixed assets, we say that it is a capital expenditure. It creates an asset. The benefit enjoyed is for a longer period. And the best example is purchase of fixed assets. Whenever we are buying the fixed assets, then it is a capital expenditure. What is the revenue expenditure? We are doing the routine expenses. We are paying See, here it is given an expenditure which is recurring in nature is known as revenue expenditure. The benefit of such expenditure is enjoyed in the current year only. For example, we are paying salaries, we are paying rent, we are purchasing stationery which we are consuming in the business, which we are using in the office. Electricity bill we are paying, telephone bill we are paying for traveling. All these are the routine expenses which are recurring in nature. You cannot have a control on this. You have to spend this. So that is a basic difference, capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. Now, capital expenditure appears on the asset side. Purchase of asset means on the asset side it appears. And revenue expenditure appears on the expense side of the income and expenditure account. This is the expense side. So rent, commission, interest, whatever expenses are there, that we are going to record on expense side. And whatever assets we are purchasing, we are recording on the asset side. Then there is a third type of classification which is known as the deferred revenue expenditure. Now it is a part of the revenue expenditure. So revenue expenditure, as I told you, that the benefit is enjoyed in the current year only. But sometimes we are making a payment of revenue expenditure whose benefit is extended in the next year. Now that particular expense is known as a deferred revenue expenditure, and the best example is prepaid insurance. In case of insurance, we are buying the policy for 12 months. Some portion is included in the current year and some portion is included in the next year. So whatever portion is included in the next year, that is known as a prepaid. So that is, this particular expense is now known as a deferred revenue expenditure. The benefit is not enjoyed in the current year, it is enjoyed in the years to come. So the definition given here is deferred revenue expenditure, revenue expenditure here. Revenue expenditure whose benefit is enjoyed for more than 1 year is known as deferred revenue expenditure. It is a revenue expenditure, but its benefit is enjoyed for more than 1 year. The best example is prepaid insurance or heavy advertisement in case of business units. Okay. Now where we are showing this, the part which is enjoyed during the current year, that particular part we are recording on the expense side. Say for example, I have paid insurance 12,000. Benefit of 9 months is enjoyed in this year. So 9,000 I am going to record on the expense side. And 3,000 benefit I am going to enjoy in the next year. So that is known as a prepaid, so which is an asset. So the second part of 3,000 is recorded on the asset side of the balance sheet. So now it is clear that which are the capital receipts, which are the revenue receipts, which are the capital expenditure, which are the revenue expenditure, and which are the deferred revenue expenditure. Please learn this classification. It is useful for solving problem. Normally the students are complaining that this particular topic, accounts of not-for-profit concern, is a difficult topic and they are not able to solve the problems. They are not able to tally the sums, but it's not like that. The only thing that you have to take care is you have to understand the difference between capital and revenue. If you are understanding the difference between capital and revenue, it is easy for you to solve the sum. So please learn this classification. Okay.